The Rainbow Six Siege community is a very interesting place to be in, and especially the last week and a half, I've seen some very weird things happen on Twitter, including the smoke vulnerability change, Blackbeard getting a claymore, and many other things. So on a weekly basis or every 2 weeks or something, I want to do a recap of what's happening in the Rainbow Six Siege community and just discuss what's happening and my thoughts and opinions. And these videos are open for discussion, so if you have any thoughts and opinions, go down in the comments. And if you want to be in a future video, or if you want me to discuss something specifically that's happening in the Siege community, follow me on Twitter, just Garfieldisdoc, and just at me and whatever said thing is. Starting out, so this past week we've seen this quote-unquote test server change where Smoke's basically he's vulnerable in his own smoke. We had other things like Warden's timing, the claymore count getting upped from 1 to 2, Ying getting another Candela, the knockback recovery, which is really good, and nobody's really talking about this. When it comes to air jabs and Oryx dashes, you get up a lot quicker. Gridlock getting extra track stringer, but the main issue that everybody had was Smoke's vulnerability, which basically meant that he can't stand in his own smoke.
See, now that's some bullshit.
He would basically take damage just like any other operator, attacking nor defending. And people were enraged about this. One, because the LMG meta right now is at an all-time high, and two, because Smoke, he's wearing a gas mask is everybody's main point. Personally, I could not give two shits about this change. I actually was more than happy to see what would happen if it came to the live build. Don't get me wrong, as a Smoke player myself, I don't really sit in smoke canisters because the inconsistency of visibility in the smoke canister is so goddamn annoying. So I was more than happy to see what would happen with this change, but the community was in uproar. And if you just look at any of these replies, people are complaining about it, and they're bringing up the LMG meta and how that needs to be addressed. And it's not like they're complaining about anything else. It's only the smoke vulnerability, which Varsity Gaming actually tweeted out. The whole smoke discussion has shown a lot of the vocal people want more passives in the game. What do you think the passives would be for all the ops in game? No bullshit ones like withstand. Before I answer, the withstands, in my opinion, one Zofia wasn't that bad. It was honestly pretty intriguing, and I was more than fine with the Zofia withstand. Took you like a goddamn year to get up anyways, and especially running through EDDs now and whatnot. You know, one operator being able to withstand is definitely a game changer, but it is situation based. But in terms of passives, when it comes to all operators, I don't think that would work. And I think a game like Rainbow Six Siege is too hard to have passive abilities, because of course we're gonna have stronger passive abilities, but I look at a game like Apex where it's a lot easier to consume and understand what every character's ability is. But in a game like Siege, no, this is not going to work, because an operator like Smoke is one of the strongest in the game, and having an easy passive like that is pretty overpowering. We look at other operators like a Rooney being able to punch instead of knife and make rotate holes and whatnot with her bionic arm. It's really cool, but we have like what, 60 something operators in the game at the moment. How the hell would we make that work where every single operator has their own specific passive ability? I just don't think that would work. And I think at that point, some operators having passive abilities is fine in my opinion, but they shouldn't be game changing. So I guess when it comes to Zofia's withstand being taken away, it made sense. Pangu actually made a really good point here. Why doesn't electrified walls damage defenders or destroy their gadgets? He says consistency is an issue, and I don't think anyone had a hard time understanding why Smoke was immune. Yeah, because he was a goddamn gas mask. He made a really good point here, and to be honest, I don't like that change where they made electrified walls not destroy defenders' gadgets. It's stupid, and it feels like it lowers the skill gap a little bit. You're able to stack up ADSs on electrified walls now, and there's no consistency in terms of just the gameplay mechanics. So Pangu made a really good point. What is your guys' thoughts and opinions about the smoke change? Because Ubisoft actually did reply over here with the balanced TS update. They said, we've heard your feedback, and the change to Smoke's gas vulnerability will not make it into the live servers. We also see your concerns about LMGs. We're working on it, and we'll keep you updated as soon as we have more information to share. Which I was glad to see, to be honest. The only down part besides cheaters and blah 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 in terms of gameplay mechanics, the biggest issue right now on attack is dealing with or everybody using this LMG meta, which inspires another tweet. It comes from Chowderhead. He said, so here's a question for y'all. How would you nerf Finka? How would you deal with LMGs? What would you do about frag grenades? I responded, I said frag grenades aren't an issue in my opinion, because in terms of frag grenades, it just comes down to IQ. The most you see IQ, like the IQ factor coming in is in pro play. If you watch the last event, you saw frag grenades coming from fucking everywhere. And is that because frag grenades are overpowered? No, it comes down to the IQ and the game knowledge of the specific players. Utility is a great factor in Siege. So I see a lot of replies, people saying instead of taking every operator having 2 frag grenades, have 1 frag grenade for each operator, which I don't know if I would really like to see that, but I would definitely like to see it tested. I'm more than happy when it comes down to test server changes because it makes the game feel fresh and new. That's why I love a game like Rainbow Six Siege, because we can make one minor change and it changed the whole atmosphere of the game. In terms of Finka, I said there should be no overhealing because that just doesn't make sense why you're able to overheal your teammates when you're just trying to get somebody that's downed up. Which in turn, like we saw the same change to Thunderbird, an operator that basically was changing the landscape of defenders, and they were able to just swing around like monkeys and be 130 HP. We saw Thunderbird get nerfed quite a bit just by that, and it was proper balancing in my opinion. When it comes down to LMGs, which is the main important part of my point and the main issue with Siege at the current moment, I said give actual recoil besides the little amount of vertical. Because if you look at any of the LMGs right now, I swear the ARs in the game, like the R4C, Zophia's AR, they have more recoil than these LMGs. On PC, you literally pull down. On a controller, you pull the stick down a little bit and maybe to the right. Depends on the LMG. So why don't we give the actual guns recoil patterns? Like all weapons in the game, their own specific, unique, complex recoil patterns. Because one, that would make the game more complex, and even though it is harder to learn, it's more rewarding once you're able to learn a recoil pattern. We have specific recoil patterns for guns, they're just not as complex as, for example, I would like to see. I'm not saying go into something like CSGO recoil patterns or Rust, just make it a little harder. Macy J responded to my comment. He said, removing overheal sounds fantastic. Actually worked great for Thunderbird. Big brain man, Macy J. Heading over to lighter news, Garfieldisdoc, he hit champ. Who let this dog shit random hit champion?
Don't like me, but I don't care.
Seriously, like I see all the comments, people calling him silver and gold and all that shit. Like, what are you guys doing? How are you guys letting this guy hit champ?
Bruh, shit.
Once again in later news, this kangaroo guy at this time of the recording, he dropped a diss track. So when I recorded this initial video, the diss track wasn't out, and it is now apparently out. So hopefully I don't get copyright striked. If not, if I do, then that's big tough. Looks like I'm not eating this month, but on some real shit, let's listen to it. Oh, by the way, if you want to see the link or you want to read the lyrics, it's right here.
Bro, like, thought about time I did something, you know. Icecold out here, man. You're done. Yeah, let's go to bitch. Oh, yeah, we route them sticks. Yeah, I play with my bitch. Joshy, I don't think you got one. Nope. Yeah, you was an op, son. Yeah, try me a you gone. Yeah, dead up on yo long. Just in the lobby, bitch, shy young. Yeah, play like my palm. Yeah, I'm peaceful like swamp. But try me the stick, I'm a draw. Get up on serving and calls. See the boy judge me for fall. Trust me, you don't want no war. A boy like you ain't up the pole. Only on keyboard he hard.
See, what gets me, what's fucking hilarious about this is I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if this man raps or whatever. I don't know the kid, and I know it's just for memes. The flow isn't the worst for a Rainbow Six Siege diss track. It's honestly not the worst. Some key lyrics though. Some key lyrics we got here is, used to suck search in the stream, saw him in the lobby and he creamed. A little fanboy it seemed. Pants, yeah, they bust at the seams. Joshy, you make any team, only collegiate succeed. Oh, we talk out the neck? Me and my fifth put him in check. Oh, you got you a check? Still don't know that diet a wreck. Backstory, if you don't know who Icecold R6 is, he's a collegiate Rainbow Six Siege player. Besides him being, you know, a streamer or whatever, which you should go check him out. He's trying to apply for partner, and his averages have been up there. He's my boy. I love him. He plays for Converse Esports, and I've known him since, you know, I had like 1,000 subs on YouTube type shit. So low-key this diss track, it was more of like just the memes or whatever. And if you don't know the reference, basically what I just pointed out, the search used to suck search in the stream. If you don't know who Search is, in the Rainbow Six Siege community, he was a Rainbow Six Siege streamer which I don't even think I can find his Twitter anymore. He used to stream over on Twitch, and then he got exposed that he was playing with cheaters. And mechanically, he's not bad. He's not a bad player himself. So I don't know what really happened with that man. But he kind of destroyed his entire, you know, streaming and content career. But that's why Icecold, one day when me and Icecold were queued up, Icecold started talking shit to the opposing team, which they were on it because Search was on the team. And I guess he used to suck Search in the stream, saw him in the lobby and creamed. Josh, believe it or not, your mom on my dick, yeah, she guac.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, man, what the fuck, man? How did this keep going?
Boy, you AI, you a bot. All that you is just talk. Nice little costume you bought, like a little clown, a mascot. Play with me, it get you shot. You need to start doing some squats. That low-key had me kind of dead. This man really just threw out a squat lyric. Icecold, in response to all of this, though, the main reason why I'm really bringing up this diss track is because Icecold recently, and by recently I mean by tonight, he tweeted out, where is it? There was a clip. I think I retweeted it because somebody added me and took a clip out of his stream. They basically said, you heard Icecold, we need the diss track response. Because I told Icecold, you should respond. That'd be kind of funny. It'd be good for, you know, maybe your viewers or whatever.
Alright, Flick. Next week, bro. If my video today gets 1,000 views within a week, I will make a diss track. How about that?
Now, if you hear what he said there, if his video in 1 week, which is most recent YouTube video, gets 1,000 views in the first week, he will drop a diss track. Now, I love Icecold. He has a very unique voice. I want to see him get 1,000 views on his video because that would honestly be absolutely hilarious on both ends. Is it gonna be a musical masterpiece? Fuck no. They're Siege players. They're not rappers. So low-key, here's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go to Icecold R6's YouTube, and just because I love this idea of him dropping a diss track, and he better goddamn do it, I'm going to share the video, and the link to this video will be down in the description. So go check it out, get to 1,000 views, and drop a comment saying, you know, we need the diss track. Last but not least, we have Drip Bullying talking his shit in an interview. If you don't know who Drip Bullying is, he's a very talented professional Rainbow Six Siege player. He plays for Beast Coast, and he's a handsome Jewish man, I believe. Besides that, let's watch this interview.
I mean, the upgrade is clear. The last team sucked. They held a player of my caliber back, which is unbelievable.
I'm pretty sure, by the way, for reference, if you don't understand his story, Drip, he was on a team beforehand, and apparently from what I've heard, I'm just speculating here, the team was a little bit lazier, and Drip was actually out of PL for a while. So I'm assuming this is what this shit talk, which I love hearing that from Drip, because he just talks that shit and he lets his nuts hang.
They should be embarrassed for themselves just keeping me down like that. You know, I consider myself a player of high caliber and, you know, high intelligence, and I don't like to be disrespected. And come stage 2, I was disrespected with who I was put on that team with when I requested to not play with some players. Things took their course, and it is what it is. I knew I'd make it back, and I knew they wouldn't, and that's why I'm here, and they're watching from home. So, what's up, guys? You know, I have a fair amount of haters, but I have just as many supporters, and I'm not here to prove the haters wrong. I don't care about them. They're nothing to me. I'm here to prove the supporters right. So, however you interpret me, I don't care. I mean,
that interview, I just love not the arrogance, but just like the confidence. Garfieldisdoc commented, "God, his nipples are so hard. I love it." Huh? You're down bad. And then someone replied saying, "I'm a weirdo," even though he follows me and he's a top 5,000 Valorant. God to you. God, you're dog shit. You know, I'm just realizing. Have you guys watched what's the Netflix show? What is it called? Riverdale Jughead. He low-key kind of reminds me, like with the hat and whatnot. Anyways, I love this shit talk, and I love like the interviews when they do this, because like there's a lot of personality in the pro community. It's just we don't see it a lot of the times because a lot of the stories are just not, you know, shed to light, if that makes sense. So that's also a part of why I want to do more of these videos, because it's just very interesting to see what's going on with the community. I did want to add in this if you know who Super is, him and a caster were actually shit talking each other on Twitter, but his tweets were deleted, sadly. And I didn't take screenshots because I never thought I would actually be doing this video. It's something that I would really want to add in because it was actually hilarious. I think some of it's still up. And it all started from Cookies, who was a CL player. I'm not too knowledgeable on the pro scene, so I'm not going to speak ignorantly. But basically now this man is a commentator and analyst, and he tweeted out basically a summary of like what happened that day. And he basically said Super's knees have officially given out. He's done. He showed zero enthusiasm today. And basically Super, from what I remember, he was basically talking about this man's career and that he's done more than this man Cookies. Cookies first responded, 1, my career rating actually was higher than yours, so I'm actually the better player. 2, you tweeted me before saying you liked my casting. And I'm pretty sure in Super's tweet he was shit talking this man's casting, and that he went from being a shit pro league player or pro player or whatever that was bottom of the totem pole to casting, which I'm just, for what I remember. And he said 3, I would have gotten all the games right on the desk last week if it wasn't for you losing the same CL players you used to roast for Twitch subs. And it was honestly just the highlight of Twitter Siege, and I wish he didn't delete the goddamn tweets, which I don't know if he's trying to protect his brand, or you know, maybe the org itself like told him, yo man, you want to not do that, you silly goose. Either way, that was the summary of what happened in the last week and a half with Rainbow Six Siege and in the Rainbow Six Siege community. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on today's video and the things I discussed, especially the smoke vulnerability. Like I am so goddamn confused with what the community thinks in terms of that. People are actually thinking that's like a nerf, but whatever. Besides that, stay hydrated, have a wonderful day, and I appreciate you watching to the very end. Thank you.